Good morning, family. Today I want to share something that hit me straight from heaven. January 21st, 2026. A day God spoke a message so clear, so simple, yet so powerful that it's meant to touch every home, every heart. He said, place it in all bedrooms. Now I know some of you might be asking, what does that mean? But what God is saying isn't just about an object or a thing. It's about His presence, His promise, His peace, entering the most intimate part of your life. Friends, your bedroom isn't just where you sleep. It's where you dream, where you plan, where you wrestle with doubts, and God wants to meet you there. Today, we're going to uncover what it means to obey this divine instruction and how doing so can transform your home, your family, and even your destiny. Are you ready to step into this moment with me? I want you to imagine for a moment, just a moment, that everything in your life is calm, organized, and predictable. The kind of calm that makes people assume your world is simple and uncomplicated. But in that calm, you tell yourself a small story, something tiny, a story you convince yourself is harmless. Just one little story, one little lie. It doesn't feel dangerous, it doesn't feel like it matters. And yet, that one small lie, when told, begins to act like a stone thrown into a still pond. At first, it makes just a small ripple, a quiet ripple, almost unnoticeable. You might say, it's just one lie. It won't change anything. No one will even know. And for a moment, you're right. For a moment, nothing seems to happen. But the truth of it is, that one lie is already moving, spreading, touching things you can't even see yet. That one lie, that tiny story you told yourself was harmless, begins to travel. And it doesn't travel quietly. It travels like water rushing down a mountain, like a fire spreading through dry grass, like wind picking up dust in a desert storm. You don't notice it at first, but it starts to touch the edges of your relationships. It touches the quiet corners of your mind. It begins to rearrange reality in ways you didn't plan. And here's the part most people never realize. Lies have memory. Lies don't just vanish. Lies plant seeds. And even when you forget you told them, they are growing quietly in places you didn't intend. Think about someone you know who told just one lie. Maybe it was a lie to protect themselves, to avoid embarrassment, to get ahead, or to make life easier for a moment. At the time it worked. For a few hours, maybe a few days, maybe even a few months, it worked perfectly. But then you notice the ripple. Something feels off. Conversations start to feel heavier. Trust begins to falter. And slowly, you begin to understand that one small lie has created a shadow that stretches across moments, across relationships, across decisions. And it's not just the people around you who feel it. That one lie begins to weigh on your own heart. It lodges in the corners of your mind where you can't quite see it. It whispers to you in quiet moments, reminding you that you weren't honest. That tiny lie begins to make other lies seem necessary. To protect the first lie, you tell another, and then another. It's almost like a domino effect. And if you're not careful, before you even realize it, your life is a complex web, built on stories that aren't true. And the more lies there are, the less room there is for clarity, for peace, for authentic joy. And yet, here's the paradox. That one lie is powerful, yes, but it is also an opportunity. Because when you notice the ripple, when you see the shadows it has cast, you gain something most people never see until it's too late. Awareness. Awareness of how delicate your truth really is. Awareness of how fragile trust is, not just in others, but in yourself. And awareness of the incredible potential that lies within the choice to change it, to confront it, to face it head on. Think about it this way. If one small lie can create ripples, imagine what honesty can do. Imagine if, instead of spreading a lie, you spread truth. Imagine if, instead of trying to cover things up, you meet them fully, squarely, without excuses. The energy is different. The weight is different. The way it moves through life is completely different. But that first lie, that one story that seems so harmless, will always be there lurking, reminding you that life is a constant choice between what is easy in the moment and what is right in the long run. And let's be real, the first lie is always seductive. It whispers to you in moments of weakness, in moments of fear, in moments when you think the cost of honesty is too high. It tells you no one will know, no one will care. It's fine. And when you listen to it just for a second, the ripple begins. It's subtle at first. A missed look, a half-truth, a hesitation, but then it grows, slowly, methodically, until it touches everything. You can see it in the way conversations feel strained. You can see it in the way your confidence feels hollow. You can see it in the way people respond to you when they sense there's something not fully true in what you say. And that's the dangerous part of lies. You might get away with them for a while, but they leave a residue, an energy, a vibration that people pick up, even if they don't know why. And the ripple doesn't stop in your world. It moves, it spreads. Lies affect more than just the liar and the immediate circle. They affect the next generation, the colleagues who rely on your honesty, the friends who trust your word. One lie has the power to erode foundations that took years to build. One lie can make people question what they thought they knew, and even when you apologize, even when you try to fix it, the memory of the ripple remains. People remember more than words. They remember energy. They remember patterns. They remember the way the truth was bent and twisted. But here's the beauty hidden inside this danger. The ripple is also proof of impact. If a lie can reach that far, then truth can reach even further. If one small falsehood can move across hearts and minds, then one small act of courage, one small decision to speak honestly, one small moment of integrity can create ripples that heal, that rebuild, that inspire. And it begins with awareness that what you tell yourself and what you tell others matters. Awareness that nothing in life is neutral, that everything has a weight, a vibration, a consequence. And awareness that one lie doesn't define you, but ignoring it allows it to multiply and grow beyond your control. And you see, the ripple effect isn't just about the past, it's about today, tomorrow, the choices you make in the present moment. Every action, every word, every intention either reinforces the lie or starts to dismantle it. You have power over the ripple if you choose to exercise it. You can stop it, you can redirect it, you can transform it. The first step is noticing it, noticing how it moves through your life, noticing the small compromises you make that feel harmless but aren't, noticing the tiny stories you tell yourself that aren't true. And once you notice it, you have a choice. Continue the ripple or start a new one built on honesty, courage, and integrity. And let me tell you something, the ripple is patient. Lies are patient. They don't demand attention. They don't scream. They don't announce themselves. They creep, they weave, they hide in the shadows of your routines and habits. And yet they are always there. And that's why the first lie is so dangerous. It feels insignificant. It feels manageable. It feels like a small thing, easy to fix later, easy to ignore now. But small things have power. Small things change direction. Small things, when left unchecked, grow into storms that shake the very foundations of your life. So, when you think about just one lie, don't think about the moment it was told. Think about the ripples it's creating right now. Think about the quiet ways it has touched the people around you, even if they don't say a word. Think about the hidden weight in your own chest that reminds you something isn't true. Think about the next lie you might tell to protect the first one. And then think about this. What if you could intervene? What if you could step in and redirect the energy? What if you could replace the ripple of falsehood with the ripple of truth, courage, and integrity? It doesn't start with grand gestures. It doesn't start with heroic proclamations. It starts with awareness. Awareness that your words matter, your intentions matter, your choices matter. Awareness that one small lie can move like a silent wave through every aspect of your life. Awareness that you have the power to either let it continue or to change its direction. And awareness that even the tiniest act of honesty, even the smallest step toward truth, has the ability to create ripples that grow stronger and stronger, touching corners of life. You didn't even realize we're connected to that first lie, and that ripple effect, let me tell you, is the reason why one lie is never just one. Because life is a network. Life is a series of connections. Life is a complex system where everything you do interacts with everything else. One lie touches a decision, that touches a relationship, that touches a future choice, that touches generations to come. And that's why the ripple is so powerful, because it is the proof that small things matter, that choices matter, that honesty matters more than we often give it credit for. Imagine for a moment standing in a room that looks completely normal. The walls are painted, the floor is clean, the air smells fresh, everything seems fine on the surface, but hidden in that room, invisible to the eye, are chains. Heavy chains, silent chains, chains that tighten with every choice you make, every word you whisper, every story you tell that isn't completely true. These chains aren't physical. You can't see them. You can't touch them, but you feel them. You feel them in your chest, in the pit of your stomach, in the way your mind races at night. And here's the truth. They start with just one lie. You think lies are small. You think they are harmless, temporary, easy to manage, but they aren't. Lies act like a weight, slowly building, slowly pressing down on your spirit, your heart, your mind. At first, you don't notice it. You think you're strong enough to carry it. You think you can manage the little burden. But the more you tell yourself, the more you protect yourself with excuses, the heavier it gets. Every half-truth, every omission, every small deception is like adding another link to a chain that wraps itself around your soul. And chains by nature are designed to restrict, to limit, to hold you back from moving freely, from breathing freely, from living fully. And here's the subtle part that people never see coming. These chains don't just hold you back externally. They start to hold you captive internally. They infiltrate your thoughts. They whisper doubts. They distort reality. Suddenly you question yourself, your decisions, your value. That small lie you told months ago begins to echo in your mind like a drumbeat, a rhythm that you can't escape. You start to rationalize. You start to justify. You start to weave an entire narrative to protect the first lie. And with every rationalization, every justification, the chain grows tighter, heavier, more controlling. The chains affect how you see the world. They make you suspicious of others because you know what you've done and you project your own fear of being discovered onto them. They make you overthink because every choice is now measured against the hidden lie. Every word is weighed for potential consequences. Every glance is filtered through the lens of guilt. And it doesn't just affect your mind. It begins to affect your energy, your presence, your ability to connect. People sense it even if they don't understand it. There's a heaviness around you, a tension, a subtle withdrawal that comes from carrying what shouldn't have been carried in the first place. Chains are also sneaky. They disguise themselves as protection. They tell you, if I hide this, I'll be safe. If I bend the truth, I'll avoid pain. If I cover it up, I'll get ahead. And at first, it feels like freedom. It feels like control. But control built on lies is a trap. The chains start to move inside you, reshaping your thoughts, reshaping your intentions, reshaping the way you interact with the world. You think you're avoiding problems, but what you're really doing is inviting a quiet form of captivity. The more you try to escape, the tighter the chains become, and the harder it is to breathe, to feel, to act with clarity, to love with freedom, to live without hesitation. And here's something most people don't realize. Chains are cumulative. One small lie forms a link. Another small lie forms another link. A third, a fourth, a fifth, and suddenly you're carrying an entire chain around your mind, your heart, your soul, and you don't even remember how it started. You don't remember the day the first link was forged. You don't remember the story you told yourself that seemed so harmless. You only feel the weight and you feel trapped. You feel like there's no way to undo it, no way to be free, no way to breathe without thinking of the consequences. And that's when the chains begin to define your life, quietly, invisibly, relentlessly. And the chains aren't just psychological, they're emotional. They affect how you connect with others, how you trust, how you love, how you forgive, how you accept. When you carry deception, even small deception, your heart instinctively builds walls. Not just around others, but around yourself. You start to believe that vulnerability is dangerous. You start to believe that honesty will destroy you. You start to believe that hiding is the only way to survive. And the irony is, while the lie was meant to protect you, it ends up holding you hostage in ways you never imagined. And the chains work slowly. They don't strike all at once. They're patient. They are architects of gradual captivity. They whisper in the early hours of the morning when your mind is quiet. They echo in the moments when no one is watching. They poke at your conscience, at your confidence, at your clarity. They plant seeds of anxiety, fear, doubt, shame. And you might try to ignore it, dismiss it, pretend it doesn't exist, but chains are persistent. They demand attention. They pull on your mind. They tug at your decisions. They steer your energy. They weigh down your dreams. And this is why the first lie is so dangerous. Because a lie isn't just a statement, it's an action. It's a seed planted in your character, in your perception, in your rhythm of life. And like any seed, it grows roots, it spreads, it creates networks of behavior that support it, of thought patterns that justify it, of emotions that accommodate it. And before long, the chains it forms are not just connected to that one lie. They're connected to the entire way you perceive reality. Your decisions, your priorities, your relationships, your own self-image, they're all touched by the link you forged long ago. And here's the paradox. Chains are both a warning and an opportunity. Because once you notice them, once you recognize the way the chains have formed around your mind, your soul, your energy, you can begin to dismantle them. You can begin to remove one link at a time. But first, you must see it. You must acknowledge it. You must feel it, name it, own it. Awareness is the first step. Because the moment you try to deny it, ignore it, or hide it, the chains tighten. But the moment you confront it, face it, and decide to act differently, the chain begins to loosen. Slowly at first, imperceptibly, but the energy of freedom is already moving, and freedom is possible. It is not hypothetical. It is not a dream reserved for someone else. It is possible because the chains, for all their weight, are not permanent. They are formed by your actions, by your choices, by the decisions you made in moments of fear or convenience. And that means that through intentional, courageous, honest choices, the chains can be broken. Every act of truth, every confession, every acknowledgement, every honest step forward is like removing a link, one by one, until the weight is gone, until the heart is lighter, until the mind can move freely again, until energy flows unblocked through every corner of your life. And let's be real, breaking chains isn't easy. It requires courage. It requires commitment. It requires confrontation with the parts of yourself you've been avoiding. It requires staring at the first lie, the first deception, the first compromise, and saying, I will not be defined by this. I will not allow it to control me. And that moment, as hard as it is, as scary as it feels, is transformative. Because once you start dismantling the chains, you begin to see the spaces they occupied. You begin to feel the energy that was trapped. You begin to reclaim the power, the clarity, the freedom that was always your right. And here's another thing most people don't realize. The chains built by lies aren't just obstacles. They're teachers. They show you where you have compromised, where you have avoided responsibility, where you have hidden from your own potential. They are mirrors. They reflect back the truth you've been unwilling to face. And when you face that truth, when you step into it, when you act in alignment with it, the chains begin to crumble, and you realize that freedom was never about avoiding mistakes. It was about choosing integrity despite them. The chains also show you the stakes of every word, every thought, every intention. They make you aware of how interconnected life really is, how every small act ripples outward, how every choice has consequences, and how the mind and soul cannot escape the truth forever. They demand attention. They demand integrity. They demand courage. And when you finally meet that demand, the relief is indescribable. The sense of weight lifting, of clarity returning, of energy flowing. It is proof that no matter how long the chains have been there, liberation is possible. And the chains don't just affect you. They affect everyone around you. They affect your interactions, your relationships, your work, your dreams. They cast shadows that are bigger than the lie itself, and the beauty of dismantling them is that it doesn't just free you, it frees everyone in your sphere. When one person chooses truth, the energy shifts, the environment shifts, the vibration shifts, the potential for honesty, courage, and integrity spreads outward. That's the power of breaking the chains built by lies. It is never just personal. It is communal, systemic, generational. And yet, despite all this, the chains are patient. They wait for the next opportunity, the next compromise, the next convenience, the next fear-based choice. They test you. They remind you of their weight. And that is why vigilance is necessary. Because once you begin to feel free, it is tempting to think the battle is over. It is tempting to believe the chains are gone, but they are never truly gone. They are only broken by deliberate, consistent, conscious choices. And that is why awareness, courage, and integrity are not one-time acts. They are practices, disciplines, ways of living that keep the chains from forming again.